Hey guys, Ryan here. So, 1 million views. That is incredible, and thank you to anyone that's ever watched a video on the channel. That's the kind of benchmark milestone that when you first start out making vids, you don't even think is within reach. So yeah, it's really cool to have hit that. And for 10% of them to be on my video about the 5 worst Zord builder compromisers. So I think I can see some similarities on where all our heads are at on that issue. So to kind of mark this occasion and kind of as a sort of follow-up to my 5 Power Ranger toy regrets video, I thought I'd share some of the stuff that I've been buying throughout 2020, as some of you may be in a similar situation where you've got a bit more money than normal to play with, or why not put it on things that you can actually play with. So yeah, starting with number 1, the Power Rangers Legacy Tribal coin. So this actually fits the Legacy Morpher, and it's quite strange in a year where I'm going to be getting the new Hasbro version of the Morpher, which will be completely incompatible with this, but I digress. This was basically the last coin that Bandai made that I didn't have. So this one was packaged first with an SDCC Green Ranger exclusive figure, and later on again with red, pink and blue Power Rangers the movie Morphers. I didn't want those because I already had the White Ranger one, which meant I had the Falcon coin. I also then later picked up the Ninjetti coins, so I got all 6 of them. But still eluding me were the Dino Tribal coin and the Ninjetti Tribal coins. Now obviously they're not necessary, they're not exactly power coins in the strictest sense, but the fact that one of the 2 of them existed officially, I really wanted it, and I still to this day still want the Ninjetti Tribal coin and actually a weathered Falcon coin, just so it matches the 5 weathered ninja coins that Bandai did actually release on their own. So I got this one loose on eBay. It's a really weighty, cool thing to have, and yeah, mostly I just keep it in the middle of the Green Ranger Morpher in its box when I'm not using it for, say, this. That though wasn't the only link to Power Rangers the movie, as I also bought number 2, Ivan Ooze's Ectomorphicons. These were in the kind of deluxe villain scale. Came out obviously around the time of the movie in '95, but they're quite rare pickups these days. I feel like I only found out about these 2 fairly recently, like in the last couple of years, and gradually as time has gone on, that thought has made me want them more, and so it's kind of cool to have them both now, as well as the Legacy Ninja Mega Falcon Zord and the Legacy Ivan Ooze figure. Number 3, a litany of villains. So yeah, I've been buying quite a few villain figures, but the 3 that kind of took me off the beaten track a bit more were these from throughout the series as history: Rito Revolto, Divatox from Power Rangers Turbo, and Doomwing from Power Rangers Dino Charge. So if you remember me saying a long time ago that Doomwing, I kind of wanted 2 of them so I could customize one of them to be Xenowing, we're not yet there, but I've definitely got one of them for now. Interestingly, these figures, despite being, what, 20 something years apart, actually all scale up really nicely with each other. And actually sharing each of them as I got them on my Instagram at Power Rangergram, Rito got a lot of likes from you guys, so I think that's probably a figure that a lot of people like. Maybe there'll be a Lightning Collection one day. Divatox has got this sort of soft flowing cape action using a button on her back. Rito's got like these 2 blasters which you can take off, and a backpack thing. He could probably do with a bit more paint just to kind of bring out the blacks of the bones rather than looking quite so starkly white. But hey, it's pretty cool anyway. Number 4, Dino Charge Zord pickups. So as you guys know, I already had an Ammonite that I repainted into a kind of metallic teal, but as time's gone on, I have kept an eye on like an eBay search for the original, and graciously so, they've stopped being so ridiculously overpriced, so I was able to get one. I've not even connected it to the Dino Charge Megazord. It really wasn't like a great omission from the collection, but kind of having the option of being able to get it at just above what the original market price would have been felt like a nice way to replace the make-do version that I'd had up until now. The other one is the Rumble and Roar T-Rex Zord, which I actually saw for the first time back in November 2015 in the Times Square Toys R Us. So this thing is huge. It's at least double the size of the original T-Rex Zord that came out as part of the Combining Zord line. This one is supposed to interact with your batteries, but something I had forgotten, which earlier reviewers from way back then did go over, is that it doesn't actually interact with batteries per se, not in the way that say a Morpher would. It treats them all the same, so even though I've got the battery set, there's no point because any battery will do. The sound array is the same for all, which is a bit of a missed opportunity, I think. You can actually get at the original Dino Zord sound effects from the original Japanese Megazord toy by kind of pulling and pushing him backwards and forwards, and you just kind of get a random sound each time. I presume they're kind of going through a cycled loop. Hey, you know, I do appreciate that they found another way to give us those sounds, even if it would have been cooler if you could have used the batteries to draw out a specific one. But to be honest, the size and class of this thing is definitely intended for the young side of the market, so they probably thought it will be a lot funner if they don't have to keep changing batteries just to get a different sound when you can just do the tipping effect. And to be honest, even that gets a bit laborious. It does have this crazy spinning around effect, which, while anatomically impossible, does give it like this cool, unusual effect. Kind of reminds me a bit of the Q-Rex, but done in a more modern, slightly cheaper way. And of course the tail and the head has movement as well, and of course it plays the original Power Rangers theme. Yeah, as others said way back then, it would have been much better if it had played the Dino Charge theme, but that kind of shows you where the show was back in 2015. And number 5, more Lightning Collection. So these just keep coming. It seems like every month or two there's another 4 show up at the door, and indeed Wave 4 and 5 have been the most recent ones as I'm making this video. To be honest, the quality of Wave 4, absolutely perfect. I didn't have a single problem with those, apart from a slight black spot on Trudy's cheek, but it's fine. Wave 5 though, Wave 5 though has not been quite such a slam dunk, and I am currently hoping to get some replaced because of issues with paint and Wes's shoulder. Like, what is that? It's either completely trapped in one position, or you're trying to rotate it and it's actually scratching into the plastic. I really hope they resolve this by the time the rest of the Time Force figures come around, and also Wes's figure, probably the weakest of the wave, which is a shame because I would have liked that to have been one of the best, and actually the accessories that come with it are pretty good. Beast Morphers continued. So at time of recording, Beast Morphers has finished its series run in the UK. I think the US is still waiting to catch up, but you guys know, just like how we know when you guys show it. But a couple things are still eluding us from the toy line, and I'll probably get into that in a future video. But for now, I have been keeping up with what's been coming out. So Blazer's Season 2 Robo Blaze modes, he got a regular 6-inch figure and one of those 12-inch Nutcracker figures, which I do quite like to have as their kind of more Megazord class scale, so I've naturally snapped up both of those. No word on like a Robo Roxy, maybe with her kind of flower power upgrade that she gets later on, so I've kind of planned for that, and I've bought a second regular Roxy, and I have seen some people customise the green to purple, and I'm prepared to do that if needs be. But I'm going to keep it sealed for now, just in case we do get a release of her maybe later in the year. And the big one, the one that you guys knew I couldn't turn down, is the Beast X Ultra Zord box set. Now this thing is beautiful. I cannot even take it out of the box. I'm just in awe of it. It's the nicest packaging, just the best put together thing I've seen from the Hasbro era so far. From its kind of Velcro cover, to its amazing diorama-esque insert, to the Power Rangers platform, to the Red Racer Zord even having the GB logo back where it should on its left shoulder. This thing is probably my favourite purchase from the line. Naturally it wasn't completely necessary, as I did have the 5 individual Zord releases, but I do think I could potentially have them displayed in different modes, or maybe just sell on my original release versions. But yeah, if you're at all on the fence about going for the individually boxed ones or the all-in-one, I think go for the all-in-one. So that's actually it for now. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can at PowerRangergram. Thank you again for 1 million views. So what's your experience been in the last few months? Have you been buying more than usual? Have you been revisiting some past series toys that you missed out on like I have? And maybe you've got your eyes on a couple things still. Let us know in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you guys are up to as well. I think as a whole, like, older Power Rangers toys are actually starting to increase in value. I don't know if it's just this period we've been in 2020, but also maybe it's slightly now that Bandai are completely cut off in the past of the franchise and people know there's no chance of any of those old toys coming back. maybe people are starting to think they should jump on the old ones while they can. Definitely interesting, all still to play for. I've not gotten everything that I've been bidding on either. I missed out on a Rygog figure and various Serpenteras, unfortunately. I'm actually going to be bidding on a Power Rangers Turbo Garage tonight if it doesn't get too out there, so you know, we'll see what happens with that. I've also got the 6-inch Vargoyle figure on the way from the States. It was being sold at regular price. It seemed worth going for. At this point, I'm not entirely convinced that we're going to get it in the UK. Same as the Yellow Ranger Beast X mode. I'm not convinced if I need the Beast X mode figures, but I do want the Red Ranger Beast X mode because he comes with the Beast X bow that they use quite frequently in the latter part of Season 2. Still don't know what's going on with the Beast X King Zord, whether we're actually getting one, but hey, again, one for another time. So that's it for today. Thanks again for 1 million views, ridiculous, and until the next time, see you later.